Hey guys, and welcome back to another video with the Outdoor Hobby Guy. Today we're going to take the snowblower, we're going to grease it up and get it all ready for the fall and the winter coming, and we're going to attach it to the tractor. So stick around, it's going to be informative. Alright guys, so let's have a look at my snowblower here and the stuff that we're going to need for today's project. So it is a Kubota snowblower. It's the model K54-22-06B. It's a heck of a snowblower. I really love it. It's super strong. It has served me well for the last couple of years. As you can see, I store it indoors so it's nice and clean. Put it on a skid so it's off the ground. That's it. When I bought it, I actually got this motor attached so that I can turn the chute from the back cab while I'm blowing, in case some of you guys were wondering. So today we're going to need a few things. We're going to need obviously our trusty surgical gloves. We're going to need that Lincoln air pressure grease gun. We're going to use some open gear grease. And I'm going to use the Kubota Flexi Firm. So without further ado, let's get on with it. Let's start getting this sucker ready to go for winter. Alright guys, so the first thing that I like to do is go ahead and grease up all the grease spots on my snowblower with the grease that we used, exactly that we used for the backhoe. You're going to see a bunch of little spots around with little nipples all over the place. I have 5 of them on my snowblower. So I'm going to turn around and give you a close-up view so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Alright guys, so what I'm talking about are these, the little nipples. You saw them on my backhoe. There's one. There's another one there. There's another one right in here. You can see it sticking out. And then on the other side, I've got 2 others. So there's one right behind the tensioner chain. And we've got another one right here. So we're going to go ahead and get those greased up and move on to the next step. Alright guys, so we got everything greased up. We've got a little extra grease around. Now in my last video you saw that I usually clean up that grease. However, when it comes to the snowblower, I usually let it sit there for the winter. It doesn't hurt anything. And in the spring I'll do my cleanup and make sure that it's all cleaned up and ready to go. The next thing that we're going to look at is, I like to use this Flexi Film by Kubota. As you know, I like to stay with the manufacturer products. And I like to spray that right here where the metal touches each other. That thing going around all the time. As you can see, there's still lots left over from last year, but let's just apply a little more. Just to make sure, down in there especially, let it sink down into there. It's like a silicone spray. It's not an oil-based spray. The oil base can really collect up and it can freeze up, especially if it's really super cold out. So I like to use this silicone spray, and that'll pretty much do it. At the same time, I like to check my connections to make sure that everything's good. Obviously, I'm going to need to put a little bit of tape on there, make sure that everything looks good and ready to go. And let's move on to the chain and the chain tensioner. So we're going to have a look at the chain now. I'm going to use this open grease just to chain up, lube up the chain and make sure that that's flowing properly. So we just want to apply it like so, kind of liberally around. Make sure that it's nice and greased up, front and back. I don't know about the lighting is that good, but hopefully you guys can see it nice. I just kind of put on, you know, a good coating. And that'll pretty much do it for that. And now we're going to have a look at the tensioning of my chain, just to make sure that the tension is good. As you can see, the tension is real good. You don't want that too loose. You know, that auger spinning at a good speed in the winter while you're throwing that snow, and that chain can loosen over time. You don't want it to file off. So to adjust your tensioner, it's pretty simple. If you look right here, there's a screw. As you can see from the difference in the paint, I've already adjusted mine several times over the years. But you just basically move that screw, or just adjust, you know, back off a little on the screw and the bolt in the back, and then just kind of push this down. Push it downwards, and that will tighten the tension on your chain. And that's another important step. On my particular snowblower this year, we're not going to adjust that chain, but that's where we will adjust the chain. And one last thing that we can look at is this shear pin. You can see the shear pin here. Sometimes if your snowblower stops throwing the snow, you might have sheared that shear pin, and that's specifically designed to break in case something big gets thrown up into the auger there, like a rock or a stick, or who knows, even a big piece of ice when that thing's spinning. It's designed to snap. This shear pin is designed to snap. So the first thing that you would always look at if your auger stops spinning and stops throwing snow, or maybe throw snow on one side, depending on your model, is to check out that shear pin. I always keep a bunch of those shear pins and bolts in my cab, just in case. And that's going to pretty much do it for getting the snowblower ready for winter. The next step is going to be putting it on the tractor and getting the 3-point on. Making sure that we're ready to go. I'm getting a little chilly, so I'm going to run in and get a hat and a better coat, and we'll continue on with today's project. Alright guys, so now we're going to get our 3-point on. 3-point hitch. So that's going to install right on the back of my tractor. Here, up here, and then we're going to put that rod coming out to here. And this is basically where we're going to hook up the snowblower to. We're going to slide it in, and then it's going to clip. So let's get started on that. Don't forget to grease this up just a bit. Always good to have a little extra grease. Alright guys, so one of the first things that I like to do is to just get everything in place. This stuff's heavy. I don't want to be searching around for it. I'm going to take out these cotter pins, and I usually just put them up there. Just inspect everywhere to make sure that we got nothing in the way. I'm going to switch the angle. I hope you guys will be able to see it, but I need 2 hands. Okay guys, so as you can see, I've already installed one side of the 3-point hitch. I'm going to show you how to do the other side now. So first, I just like to get the pins out so I'm not messing around with them. I got one there, and then we have another one here with a little locking pin. We're just going to unlock that. Careful, there's a little washer on the back side there. All right, so we're going to go ahead and just lift this up. I like to go on the side first, just to take a bit of the weight. Okay, that's twice it's fallen off, so let's get that cotter pin on there. Stop that. Then you could go up to the top and just get the pin through. That's going to take off all that weight. We'll come down here and we'll get our other attachment on. I seem to be having trouble today. All right, there we go. Get the pin on there. Put the washer back. And our locking pin will be pretty much good to go. I'll just get this on here. Final piece. And that's going to do it for that. Next, we'll just bring in our tractor and get that all together. All right, guys. So some of you may have noticed that I got to put my 3-point on every time I put the snowblower on. The reason really for that is I only have one implement, and that's the snowblower, so I don't really need to get the quick attach. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the tractor and marry it up with the snowblower. But obviously we have to get that prepared, so let's get the pins out. Snip on the side. Same on the other side. We're doing that because we're going to put the 3-point in on each side, and then we've got this top piece, and we're going to be careful here because it's got to lift the chain, and we're going to drop that down like that. We'll put those 2 pins aside. So you may notice that this shaft goes, in and out. Basically like that. So we want to take this piece and marry it onto that back piece that we greased before. Now we're gonna have to go ahead and lower that down. Sorry about how loud the tractor is. We're just gonna lower down the 3-point. Alright, so that's pretty good. Getting pretty close. Go ahead and whoop. Go ahead and stop her about there. You can always lift up. Just back up the tractor a little bit and get that started. Alright guys, so that's the PTO looking down. We're going to take our drive shaft, going to line it up, get it in there good. And then pull back on the coupler, slide it forward, and that's locked in. Alright guys, the last thing that I do is I just kind of go around and have another look at everything. I've connected the electric and that's for the motor that turns the chute. We put up the little kickstand, and lastly, we didn't really look at this, but we'll look at it quickly. These blades, these kind of runners, keep the blade of the blower off the ground. I put mine on the highest setting for the first go around, just simply because that blade that's there, you can see the difference. That's going to give me a good inch, so I'm not ripping up all the gravel. And to fix that, you just unloosen this bolt right here, and it's adjustable in 3 spots. So I have mine on the highest, medium, and then the bottom. Usually by winter I'll have it on the middle setting, and that'll be about it. Everything's greased up, good to go. Tested that chain, that's all greased up. All the grease nipples are fixed and ready to go. We got everything going. We can even do a little test on the blower chute. So we'll just start up the tractor fast. And I've got a little switch here that I can turn by hand. And yeah, we're going. As you can see, if you were to use like an oil grease there, oil, it could freeze up in the winter. That's why I use that silicone. So that's it. Kubota B2301-B is installed, and we are ready for winter. All right, guys, sorry for the noise of the tractor, but the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at how she goes up and down, make sure it lands properly. Oh, so we got a little adjustment there. You can see that she doesn't really sit perfect. So how to do that is on your 3-point, I'm just going to turn this. I'll turn this one. And we should be coming down a lot better. Up and down a lot easier now. Oh yeah, there we go. Up. It's nice and flat. Put a little bit more on this side, and we should be good. Now she goes up, no jiggling, go down nice. And there you have it. So guys, that's going to do it for today. We connected our Kubota snowblower to the Kubota B2301. Some of the finer points to have a look at: make sure that it's greased, the chain, all the greasing for the nipples are done. Don't forget to check your chain tension. That's pretty important. We also looked at the shear pins in case you're not getting any snow coming out, the probable cause. We attached our 3-point hitch, greased and lubed all that up, connected the drive shaft to the PTO of the tractor, and gave it a test to make sure that everything is ready to go for the winter. Thanks again for stopping by. Feel free to subscribe to my channel and like the video, and we'll see you on the next one.